one question before I answer to your questions. How many oils, how many liters the engine got, the Himalayan engine? How many liters? On my Tenere I have 2.7 liters of oil. Every change requires 2.7 liters. How many liters the Himalayan requires? 2.1. Okay, the less you have, the more frequently you have to change the oil. As you know, the dirt bikes, they have like 1 liter and 200 grams, something like that. And you have to change the oil every 10 or 12 working hours. Richard, good, okay. Richard, any news about the Himalayan? Some new information to tell me until someone else come? Information to share? Your experience, your opinion? Any more news so far on the topic Himalayan? Because you're the only real owner that I know at the moment, and your information is very important to me. I have a 450 to 500 kilometers tank range. Excellent. And how many liters you've got now? The old model was with 15. I think the new model is with 20. 90 to 100 kilometers per hour. This is excellent range. Just excellent. 17 liters. Very good. Perfect. On my Tenere, I can easily get to 400 range with the 16 liters. But if I ride it with 90 to 100 kilometers, I can even go to 450. Yeah, something like that. A service to 20 filter tank, but I don't need it. Yeah, the same to me. They have an option to Tenere 700, this is a service tank, but I don't really need it. It will be even more heavy on the top. So far I never needed. As you know already, on my trip to Russia, I needed only once for 400 kilometers just to make sure that I will have petrol. I can go with my petrol, but it was just a peace of mind that I can have it, because it was a chance that these petrol stations won't work, and I prefer to have a can with me. But I perfectly understand you. Yeah, today is going to be again, I'm not gonna talk, you're not gonna listen my speech, it will be only your questions. If, of course, if more people come and if they have some questions on the topic luggage. Getting cold now, 10 degrees today, heated grips on. Yeah, it's the same here. During the day it's really nice, like almost 20, but during the nights it's 10. Early mornings is cold. Yeah, winter is coming. I think it's the right time. And in UK never really get hot, so. But what I see now, so far you're very pleased with the Himalayan, which is good. You do have a few questions. I have my own answers, but always interesting to hear your views. Go ahead, Richard. It's you're the first, and of course I will be glad if I can share my opinion as well. What are the questions? Kilometers? Never really exceed over 4,500 RPMs. It was not exactly like that you're gonna break it, but it's recommended to do it a bit slowly, without passenger, no more, not so much twisting, no high RPMs, and then you're good to go. All right, go ahead with the questions, Richard, because you might be the only one I can see. So far, no one really comes. Usually people come a little bit later. Although Royal Enfield say 10,000 kilometers oil changes, my dealer recommends 5,000. I will recommend exactly the same, Richard, unless you're on a very long trip and you don't have option to change the oil. But if you're on a long trip, you will ride many kilometers with steady throttle. You're not gonna exhaust it like that, but even so, if you have the chance to change it every 5,000, just do it. It's exactly what I do with my Tenere. Even though it's at 10,000 kilometers, I change it every 5,000. One question before I answer to your questions. how many oils, how many liters the engine got, the Himalayan engine. How many liters? On my Tenere I have 2.7 liters of oil. Every change requires 2.7 liters. How many liters the Himalayan requires? 2.1. Okay, the less you have, the more frequently you have to change the oil. As you know, the dirt bikes, they have like 1 liter and 200 grams, something like that. And you have to change the oil every 10 or 12 working hours. So 2 liters, I won't recommend to exceed 5,000 kilometers. The often you change it, the better. Okay, back to the question. Did you use a hard luggage before going to soft? No, I never used a hard luggage, never ever. The reason of that is when I was a young guy, I was riding only sport bikes. And the sport bikes I never used for traveling. It was just like for pleasure. Then when I later start traveling and switch it from sport bikes to these dual sport bikes or enduro bikes, I had an idea to have these hard panniers, because this is what I saw in many magazines and stuff like that. But they were bloody expensive. I just haven't got the money to pay for it. And that's why I started traveling with one duffel bag on the top. It was not exactly duffel bag, it was more like a sport bag that I use for training, attach it with the straps on the back of the motorcycle. Later I bought a saddle bags, again because I was able to buy it very cheap and start traveling with saddle bags. And slowly I realized how important the luggage is. First, this bag that I have on the top of the motorcycle was very noticeable. And after I moved it to saddlebags, it was completely different story. And again, on one stage of my travelings, I do have some ideas to switch to hard panniers, but a friend of mine got it, and when I check how heavy they are empty, completely forgot about this idea. So I don't really have experience riding with hard panniers. But I have seen more than enough motorcycles with hard panniers, and I rode with many people with hard panniers, and I can see their problems here and there, mostly about the weight and the problems when you need to filtering between the cars. Hard panniers are really something that it's a problem. And also, if they drop the motorcycle, they really need to unload, to remove the hard panniers, lift the motorcycle and mount them again, because otherwise it's just too heavy to work it. So I hope that this answers your questions. Your question. What is the next? Soft panniers, roll back or horseshoe back. For me, the most useful and the most practical of all is horseshoe back, because of the shape. I don't feel this back. It stays naturally around the motorcycle and I don't really feel it. And also it does not require additional straps, because if you have, let's say, roll back or duffel bag, you need straps. And straps sometimes just cut, or you can lose them, you can forget them somewhere. And this is the problem, you have to have a spare with you. And also the duffel bags stay on the top of the motorcycle, which makes it top heavy and very noticeable when you ride. Saddlebags are a good option, they stay on the side of the motorcycle, but again they have a different attaching points, or the points that you can attach it on the motorcycle. And yeah, they split the weight on the on both sides of the motorcycle, and they does not really change your center of gravity. They make it even better. But they have one big minus, they react on the wind exactly like hard panniers, not that bad, because they're not that heavy, but they're exactly like your hard panniers. They react like a sail, and actually you'll increase your petrol consumption with at least half liter per 100 kilometers. I experienced this with my saddlebags before. So when I removed the saddlebags, I went to duffel bag, my consumption was lowered with half liter per 100 kilometers, because the duffel bag is behind me, behind the wind. When you have a saddlebag, it's like that. And the horseshoe bag that I have, it stayed just behind me, and the bottom part stayed behind my legs. So it's not on the place of the wind, or it's not in front of the wind tunnel that is going, and I never feel it. But the main reason is because it has its own straps. I can attach it very easy, tight it. If I don't have much luggage, I can fasten it and tight it to be very small. It will stay behind me, never feel it, the best bag that I ever had. I hope this answer. How do you secure the luggage to the bike, bungees, rocks, straps or something else? I use one very simple security system. I use the cable lock that I have on the rear side of my motorcycle. Usually I keep this cable lock always on my motorcycle to lock my helmet when I walk around. So when I have my saddlebag, I put the saddlebag and then lock it with the cable lock on the top. This is only to prevent someone to cut the straps and grab my saddlebag with the luggage and move away. Of course, this cannot prevent someone to cut my saddlebag, open it and get everything from inside. Does not even need to cut it because it's on just plastic lockers. So you can unlock it and see everything inside. But as I said, it stops someone to take the whole luggage at the same time. So I cannot really secure it properly. But as you already know, I never leave my motorcycle just like that on the places without any people. And also, I don't have expensive things in my saddlebag. Inside, I usually keep my clothes, which are cheap clothes. I can buy it from everywhere. My tent, if I have the tent with me. And a tent, even though it's not so cheap option, it's still something that could be, I can buy it from everywhere. Some spare parts and tubes and stuff like that. This is what I carry in my saddlebag. That's why I never worried so much about it, and I don't use some kind of pack safe mesh or things like that because the reasons I told you. And as the main important is that I never leave the motorcycle just like that. If I have to leave it on the street, it will be in front of big restaurant, coffee, bank, surveillance cameras or something like that. When you open the horseshoe bag, is it different sections so you don't mix things up? No, it's one big pocket, but I have a box inside, like a waterproof box, and I separate everything in different bags. For example, on the left side on the saddlebag, I usually keep my tent. On the right hand side, I keep on the bottom some tubes and some spare parts that I need and things like that. And on the center, I usually have my clothes because the clothes are the lighter part of all of them. So I have three different inside bags that I use. And if I have a good hotel with parking or with garage, I don't even remove the horseshoe bag. I just open it, grab my clothes, and I have another one bag with cables, chargers and stuff like that. So I grab these two bags and the rest is stay on the motorcycle once again, all the time. So this is how I proceed. Everything is separated in different bags and I take only what I need. If I have to leave the motorcycle outside, then of course I'm gonna take the horseshoe saddlebag with me. Good questions, Richard. Thank you very much. You're the only one here at the moment, so please continue if you have more questions. I hope that more people will come, but whatever. Do you use a separate frame in mount the luggage or just strap into the bodywork? I don't use any separate mounts or frames. My motorcycle is perfectly fine just as it is. So the straps on my saddlebags, two of them are attached to the rear, the plate that I have on the tail of my motorcycle. Two of the straps are attached there and another two are attached to the passenger pegs. I don't need any additional frames or anything. And I use this bag in at least 4 or 5 different motorcycles and it's always been like that. I never need to have anything else. If for any reason your exhaust, for example, is very close to the bag, you can always move it a little bit forward or backwards and avoid the problems with the exhaust, but it never happens with, as I said, 4 or 5 different motorcycles. And I'm gonna use it once again now on a different motorcycle in South America, on this Honda 300cc, without any racks or plates on the back. So what will be your option for traveling, Richard? Because you have a passenger, you have to have a different option. Where do you pack your tools and puncture kit? Under the seat, so you need to take the horse back off? Well, okay, my tools are under the seat, which is mean that if I have to remove the, if I need my tools, I have to remove the saddlebag, open the seat, and then grab my tools. This is one of the negatives, but I want my tools to be always on the back. On the old Tenere, I had one tube like that for tools that I mount on the motorcycle for one long period of time until it breaks. But I couldn't find a nice place to attach this tube, this plastic tube, on the new Tenere. There is no place to attach it. And that's why I still keep all of my tools under the seat, which of course requires to remove the saddlebag if I want to open the seat, because if I want to open the front seat, my Tenere is with two different seats, rider and passenger. But if I want to open the rider seat, first I have to remove the passenger seat, and then I can open the rider seat, which is mean that I have to remove the saddlebag, or at least lose it a little bit, move it as far back as possible, and then I can open it, but it requires just a few minutes preparation. So what option you're gonna use for your traveling, Richard? You carry 30 liters bag behind me, and she was with me. I have to use small plastic panels, 7 kg each side, fully loaded. My puncture kit lives behind the panel frame, always on the bike. Okay, why don't you try to find a saddlebags? They will definitely allow you to put more stuff inside, because they can stretch a little bit and they will weigh less, and you're not gonna need any racks, because for your plastic panniers you're gonna need some kind of racks. 7 kilograms each side, fully loaded. It's good, but sometimes you have a bulky things and you just cannot put it on the plastic. Yeah, I understand. I understand. She will definitely feel it if you give her more space. Because, I don't know, it's just more... How heavy are these plastic panniers when they are empty? And do they require a specific rack to mount it? They should. And how heavy are the panniers plus the rack? One kilogram GV frames. Okay. So they are very light, honestly. Yeah, if this works for you, works. So 3 kilograms, extra 3 kilograms. No, it's okay. It's not that much. Even the horseshoe bag is something like, I don't know, 2-3 kilograms probably, empty. So the weight is perfect. You don't have much. Good. And do you have a tank bag? Or do you plan to have this small bags that you can have on the front part of the Himalaya, that the racks that it has on the front, on the side of the petrol tank? With just me, I wouldn't use panniers. Yeah, I understand, perfectly understand. Well, there are many debates about hard panniers or soft luggage, and each in their own. Just because I don't use it, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. Just ordered another small tank bag that is fully shaped on my old one, doesn't fit. Yeah, this is the problem. It's when you change the motorcycle, you usually need to change the saddle, the tank bags, because they have different shapes. The side tank bags are too big. I also don't like this idea of side tank bags. And many Tenere owners have the crash bars with two reasons. First is to protect, of course, the Tenere if you crash it. The second is to have these bags on the... And they're very useful, because if you have them, you can keep, for example, your tubes. Now I always have a problem where to keep my tubes. There's always a problem where to keep the tubes, but weight always matters. It looks like will be only me and you, Richard, tonight. Anyway, do I use compression bags for clothing? No, just a normal waterproof bags. Even though the saddlebag that I have, this horseshoe, is waterproof, I still have my waterproof bags inside because you never know. After so many hours it might start leaking here and there. But mostly because I want to separate the luggage and to be easy for me to grab only what I need. Earlier when I was traveling with my friend Dima, he hasn't got any bags inside, and his his horseshoe bag was full with everything. And every time when he needs something, he was going like this, try to find something, get everything out, put everything in. That's why I have these separate bags to put everything. But I don't use compression bags because I need this clothing every day. So if it's something that I'm gonna pack it and leave it for my wife, do it here at home, compress everything and put it in the cabinets. I started using them, work well, because the space down. She loves them because she can pack more outfits. Yeah, they might work for many people. I just don't need it because I don't have much and I travel alone, and as you know, it's much easier for me. Now, for example, on this trip to South America, because I'm not gonna carry tent and stuff like that, I don't think that I'm gonna have more than 10 kilograms of luggage altogether. Everything, include my tank bag, and only the tank bag is around, I don't know, 3-4 kilograms, because all my camera gear is inside. So I definitely have like 3-4 kilograms. It's like, you know, everything in. But I'll need this stuff. My camera for still pictures. I also use this camera to film videos here and there. My action camera, microphones, some chargers, cables, batteries, stuff like that I need to carry it. But this is the way, if I want to film something, this is the way to do it. There is no other options. So as I said, there is no wrong or right luggage choice, whatever works for you. When she is with me, I have a small 1 kilogram box where the top box will be. In this I have waterproof clothing for us, boat and cover for a parket, 4 kilograms also weight. Yeah, top box, it's usually everyone who is traveling with passenger, they prefer to have a top box as well, because they can have more stuff. Usually it's the light stuff like rain gear on some second set of gloves or something like that. And it's also a nice place where a passenger could rest his or her bag when they travel. So I perfectly understand it. It is 20-liter panniers, turn it into seat side, very small. Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't like rucksacks or backpacks, if you understand, if you mean this backpacks. Rucksack is a German word, yeah. I don't like to have a backpack. I tried on one of my trips to travel with a backpack that was like not so heavy, 6-7 kilograms, but I hate it. And I finished the trip with a backpack resting on the rear seat of my motorcycle, tied with straps. It's a very annoying. The backpack that I have now is only for my hydration pack. It weighs 2 kilograms. This is what is the volume of my hydration pack, 2 liters. So anything more than 2-3 kilograms on your back will be very annoying after a few hours. It just pull you back all the time, disbalance you a lot. A friend of mine traveled with one very big and heavy backpack. I'll say he carried at least 10 kilograms. And I don't know why. When I ask him, what do you have inside? He has so many things that he does not need at all. So backpack, forget about it. No more than 2-3 kilograms. My water, because the water I have to carry anyway. If I don't have the hydration pack or the small backpack with water, I have to have a bottle. But bottle, first you have to have a place to store the bottle. Even though on my horseshoe bag I have a place to store the bottle, but if I want to drink, I have to stop and drink, and it's a long procedure. On the backpack I have it all the time. I even got this habit And sometimes because I ride out without my hydration pack, for example here around my home, and when I got thirsty I make like this to grab my pipe to drink, but I just don't have it, so it's a habit that I created. Have you seen Moscow Moto tank bag section? Have you seen Moscow Moto tank bag section? And a water blader is also become a backpack when it's over. I have exactly this, Richard. This is Moscow Moto tank bag, what I have now, Moscow Moto. Yeah, it's exactly this model that becomes like a backpack. These are the straps that it has. But because I'm not gonna use it as a backpack, because I usually carry my backpack, which is hydration pack, and when I walk around, the only moment when I'm gonna need this, let's say, tank bag to be like a backpack with me, I'm already with my hydration pack on the back. So I should have two different backpacks if I want to use it as a backpack. And also because I carry here all of my expensive camera gear that I'm gonna need all the time to film something. I don't want all of this to stay behind me, especially in a crowded place. So everyone could open it and get something, and I'm not gonna feel it even. And I'm not gonna use the straps, and that's why I remove it. These are the straps that I left only to attach it to the motorcycle. The rest, they stay here inside, and I remove them because I'm not gonna use it. Also, it has the hydration pack here on the bottom, and it was very useful. But when I have a hydration pack in, it was 3 liters, and when I fill it with water, it's actually got like 50% of the volume of the tank bag. And because of that, it's limit the space in the tank bag itself, and I cannot put all of my camera gear inside. And I found it a little bit weird to drink when you ride, because it stays like that on my motorcycle. And when I have the throttle, I have to remove the pipe from here, the hose from here, and drink it. It's a little bit more dangerous when you ride. So for me, it's easy to do it like that instead of looking here. It's a good option, and many people will love it, but it just doesn't work for me. That's why I kept the bag, because I really like this saddle bag, because of the reasons that I told you. It has these different compartments inside. So you can see, for example, here I have my camera, my GoPro camera, but I do have many more pockets. For example, here I keep my microphones, and it has another one. So here, different separations. I can have my batteries, different things that I need all the time. So it's a great tank bag, great option to have it with everything that you need, including the hydration pack. But it just does not work for me. And I spoke with the guys from Moscow. I explained them my opinion about it. I explained it even in the video that I made. I have a video about it. You can watch it on the channel. Great option, just doesn't work for me. But I highly recommend their stuff. Their quality is outstanding. The only thing that it's a minus at the moment is that it is not waterproof, but it has a cover that it's very easy to use, because it has a different pocket here, and from this pocket I can get out the cover, and it's this nice blue color. Of course, transparent on the top, so I can see my maps if I have maps, and have this color. And when I travel in, let's say, dusty conditions, I can cover it again, so I can protect the tank bag. And also when I'm alone, when I travel in a little bit more suspicious area or with a lot of people around, I always put my cover on the top, because this will prevent someone to open the tank bag quick and grab something from it. First, he needs to remove the cover. He needs to know how, because I can tighten it from here. And when the motorcycle is parked like that, and I just want to go on the toilet, to the toilet in the petrol station, and I have the cover, it's another one protection layer. It will be a little bit more difficult than the other situation when you can open the zip, grab something and go. And that's why I like it very much. They have another one option which is waterproof, but it's with different shape. I don't like it, and it's not so good because of that reason. I recently tried a tank bag from Enduristan. It was a good option, waterproof, but one big pocket inside, and I cannot separate the stuff that I have, which is mean that they will knock each other all the time, and the cameras are not good options for camera. Now they have another one option, Enduristan, with different compartments or departments inside that might work for someone. I haven't seen it on real. Richard, I have a shoulder bag under my jacket too. Bike documents and passport always with me, even when it's off the bike. Take a jacket and a restaurant, for example. Yeah, I tried this before. It's just too bulky for me under the jacket, and I don't really like all of these straps, but many people do it exactly like that. I prefer to keep my documents on the pockets of my jacket. Telephone, I always have the documents and telephone on my jacket. But it's a matter of habit. Some people got like a belt bag that stay here on the leg on the side. But whatever works for you. It's important to keep everything in secure place, so you don't need to worry about it. Never in the motorcycle, never in the tank bag. Yeah, the camera gear is the tank bag, but I will never put inside my wallet or my telephone or my passport, never ever, because something might happen. Nikolai, nice to see you. We had a long discussion here with Richard with a lot of questions. Nice to see you again. If you have any questions, Nikolai, on the topic motorcycle luggage or any other topics, go ahead, and I'll be glad if I can answer it. Enduristan make good kit. I use them small tool pouch. All extras I take with me with fit here. Yeah, I agree. They have some good stuff. Nothing works at the moment to me, but you never know in the future. They also have a good options for saddlebags. The same to Moscow Moto. Expensive options. Enduristan, by the way, it's a little bit cheaper than Moscow Moto. Moscow Moto is definitely one of the most expensive solution, but it is what it is. Nikolai, how do you protect your camera? Sorry if I already discussed. Not really, Nikolai. I'm gonna show you right now. I don't really protect it so seriously. I keep it in my tank bag. I'm gonna show you now, Nikolai. This is how I keep my camera. You can see it inside. This is my camera for still pictures. I also use this camera to record videos. For example, I record videos in the garage with this camera. I also sometimes record videos when I'm traveling with this camera, because I can have a better build quality, and also I can have a visor, so it will be easy for me to monitoring what is going on and how to position it myself. And I have another one, action camera, that I keep in the same saddle bag, and I have this red cloth around it just because I don't want the bolt to knock each other all the time, just to have some kind of cushion. And I have another one long self stick if I need it for some reason, for some footage to do it. And here on the side, here on this pocket, I keep also all of my microphones. I keep them here. So basically in this bag I have all the camera gear that I need to record my trips from the beginning until the end. Of course, I have a separate camera as a backup, but it does not stay here in the tank bag. It is in my other luggage, and if someone take it, I can leave with it. And on the front part here, I have 3 extra batteries here, this pocket, and another one battery for the other, spare microphones and stuff like that, the things that I need to record my trips. I understand that all of this moving all the time and vibrations all the time might destroy my camera, and they will probably on some stage, but I have it from already, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years, always like that, and still working. The biggest problem, one of the biggest problems that, or the main problem that destroy camera gear is usually the dust, and I try to protect it from the dust. Okay, I will view the recorded stream once released. Yes, it will be released next Saturday. Where do you keep papers for easy access and smaller amounts of money for tools and passport show on the board? Tolls, passport show on the border, crossing, and it will break. Okay, I don't carry much papers. Usually before every trip I make a photocopies of my passport, driver license, and the important visas if I have visas, and keep them in the tank bag as well. But usually I have my wallet. Let me show you. My wallet is this type. It's very funny, this type of wallets. But what I do, I keep my passport as well here. So my passport stay here, and when I close it like that, in my wallet I have everything. All of my cards, bank cards, I have my passport, I have my driver license, I have the money that I need for the day. Usually the money that I need for the day I usually keep in my pocket. Money that I don't want to spend daily, I might keep a small amount here. The rest I will hide. Usually I make a hidden pocket on my jacket and keep them there. If I need to carry more cash, I prefer to be in the hidden pocket, some place that cannot be seen that easy. But that's basically how I keep all of my documents. So as I said, I keep a specific amount in my pocket on the trousers for something like tolls or small amounts that I'm gonna need during the day to buy some food or something like that. And that's everything that I carry. I understand that if you have a bag like you have under the jacket bag here, you can put everything inside, but I don't feel good with all of these straps to be around me for whole day. So everyone prefers some kind of ways or organization. With my way, I always know that when I start riding, I make like that. Okay, my wallet is here and my telephone is here. And that's enough for me to know that everything is on the place. So when you stop the petrol station, you fill the petrol, you pay everything. I jump on the bike and running and make like this. Okay, everything is here, no problems whatsoever. If the wallet is not here, doesn't mean I forgot it on the petrol station, because I don't have any other place to keep it. It's always on the same place. If you understand what I mean. Do you think that the bright colored luggage for safety is a good idea? I think it's a good idea. That's why I always take a white saddle bag. My horseshoe bag is white because of more visibility. My motorcycle is black. Most of the time the gear is also black colors, even though I try to have at least the jacket on different colors, but at least my saddle bag is white, and that's why I keep it like that. This is my third saddlebag that I've got from 21 Brothers, and I always ask for white. And now I even have another one. They just sent me a few months ago a new model. No, this is the same model, but a new bag. And again, it's white. I prefer to have it in white. Yeah, it's after a few months or maybe in a year, this white color is not really white anymore. It looks very dirty, but I don't mind. It's still more visible than a black on the tail of the motorcycle. It just provides more visibility. If you have something like electric orange or electric green, it will be even more visible, but I just don't like these colors. This is the reason why I always try to have a white helmet, because it's just for more visibility. The helmet is, the top position is more visible from everywhere, and white helmet is just more visible than anything else. Richard, my friend, I think my questions are exhausted. Thanks for taking the time. No problems, Richard. Thank you very much for taking the time, and always be my first a loyal member on the streams. Nikolai, it's your turn. Any more questions or some information to share or anything to ask me on the topic luggage or any other questions that you might have? Big D, hey, nice to see you, man. You came in last moment. Yeah, everything is almost set. Nothing so much to prepare for the trip, Big D. I'm just working on the maps mostly this month, working on my routes and try to connect with the people that I'm gonna meet there. Try to organize everything as better as possible, and of course try to save as much as possible money. Honestly, I don't spend any money for anything that is not really necessary at the moment. This is how I'm on saving mode. So even though when I need to go outside and try to buy something like let's say a clothes or some things that I don't really need, when I check the price and when the price says something like, let's say 60 euros, I said, man, 60 euros. 60 euros, I'm gonna travel 2 days in South America, I'm not gonna buy it. This is how my brain is working right now. Saving as much as possible money because it will be a long journey, and preparing as best as possible. So, but been listening to the stream just after, okay. Richard, my wife used my old aluminum panels for flower boxes. It's a good option, yeah. I think this is how they are most useful. Absolutely agree. Yeah, also you can make a really nice decoration in your garage. Yeah, I'm excited, Big D, because now the less time I have, the more I cannot wait. It's just, I'm on this riding mode already, just need to start. But even so, I know that the more time I have, the better I will prepare myself. More I'm gonna work on these plans and preparations. But I'm sure that time is always moving, even when you sleep. So it will come. It will come. But yes, I'm excited. I really look forward to this trip. I really need it because it's already more than a year when I came from Russia. So I need the trip. I really need it. Do you say you were going through Patagonia? Of course I'm going through Patagonia. I'll go all the way south to Ushuaia and back to the top of Colombia. I cannot miss this part of the world. It's very well known. It's beautiful. A lot of beautiful views. Of course I'm gonna go through Patagonia. But I also want to see Brazil, Venezuela. So all in my list. Cannot wait to start. One more month. All right, Richard. Thank you very much. Send my regards to your chef. And see you next time. I have a video on Monday, by the way, that might be useful for some people. Watch it if you have time. And it will be interesting to hear your opinion on the topic that I discussed on this video. Good night, Richard. Thank you for coming once again. Will do. Okay. It's a video that I made 7 years ago, but I still receiving a lot of questions on this topic, and that's why I decided to do it once again and eventually reach even more people. And I hope that this time I made it better, because 7 years ago my video was not good at all. Terrible audio, camera not on focus, my English language was terrible. I feel so ashamed when I watched it again earlier. But this is how we learn the things, how we learn how to do the things. And this YouTube game, it's not easy, man. It's not easy. It requires a lot of different skills that you have to learn on the fly. So it's not what people think. It's not that you just press the button on the camera and it all works like miracle. No. It requires a lot of different skills, a number of skills that you cannot have it, or you cannot learn it before you start doing this stuff. And when you start doing this stuff, you're doing it wrong, and you learn something and you try to improve it, and you learn a little bit more and try to improve it. And always when I check my old videos, they're all terrible. which is mean that every time I feel a little bit better, and I'm a little bit better, but it's still a long way to go. Please show you 7 years under the belt, the videos from strength to strength. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I have more than 1,000 videos on my main channel right now, more than 1,000 videos. And I have another, I don't know, let me see how many videos I have on the second channel. Let me check this, it's interesting. So I have 1,070 videos on the main channel. And I have another 149 videos on the second channel, which is mean that already like 1,200. And then I have another 33 videos on my third channel. So I have more than 1,200 videos, which is a lot of work, a lot of work. If we say that one video will need at least 1 day, this is like 1,200 days, which is mean like 4 years. This basically means that it took me 4 years non-stop work to come to this moment. It's very discouraging if you think this way. 4 years without any stops just to get there. Man, it's unbelievable. I'm very patient, man. I am very patient, man. But because I enjoy what I do, I enjoy all of this process. Yeah. Usually people see someone on internet, on YouTube, and they say, "Ah, how the hell this guy came here? He came from nowhere." Okay. Okay. My channel is from 2008. I have more than 4 years of non-stop work, but I came from nowhere. Okay, if you say so. Anyway, Big D, do you have any questions on the topic motorcycle luggage? Or maybe another question? I still have a few minutes, so if you have one, I will be glad if I can answer it. We had a nice discussion here with Richard and Nikolai a little bit at the end. Nikolai, it looks like he disappeared from the stream. Okay, let me see it. Front suspension upgrades. On what motorcycle, Big D? KTM 890. Okay, what model? R version or just normal? $890 Adventure R normal. Okay, so you have a normal forks, 43 millimeters, apex suspension, fully adjustable. Is that what you have on your KTM? And tell me, please, how big you are, how heavy you are. $510, 210 kilograms, non-adjustable front shocks. Non-adjustable front shocks. Oh, I didn't know that it's so bad. So you don't have screws on the top to adjust suspension, to adjust compression and rebound? No, okay. So 5'10", 210 kilograms or 110 kilograms. Did you make something wrong here? Or the motorcycle is 210 kilograms. What you said here? You can't be 210 kilograms. If you mean 210 pounds, that's like 100 kilograms. 210 kilograms, 110. 110 is fine. Okay, 110, I understand. I am 1.5. Okay, so you definitely need to upgrade suspension, because your suspension, even if it's adjustable, yours is not, but even if it's adjustable, you still need to you need different springs inside, because the stock springs, even that you have a KTM, the stock springs are set for someone 75-80 kilograms. If you are 110 without any gear, with the gear you'll be 115 minimum. So you definitely need a stiffer springs in your forks. And it's not only on your forks, it's the same with your shock absorber. Even though you have a preload screw on your shock absorber, when you preload it, you limit your suspension travel. What preload does is stiffen the spring, but it's limit the suspension travel as well. So it's stiffen it like that. You just press it a little bit and it became stiffer, but you compromise the suspension travel. So you definitely need a stiffer springs to put it inside of the forks, and also you need to change the spring on the shock absorber as well, because if you change only the forks, then you'll have a very soft rear and the motorcycle will go like a boat, like that. When you have a stiffer springs on the front and stiffer spring on the shock absorber, it will go evenly, not like that. Otherwise the front will be very stiff and the rear will be soft, and you will experience a weird moments. It was like that on my old Tenere, because I changed the springs and the forks on the front, but I still had the rear soft shock absorber, and it has a different or weird behavior here and there. So you definitely need to change, but change them completely, all of them, front forks and the rear as well. I don't know, are you able to find stiffer springs for the KTM? Probably you will. I did this conversion on my Tenere and it cost me around altogether around 220 euros for fork springs and the springs for the shock absorber, just for the springs. And I used a different oil inside, a little bit thicker than usual. I don't know how much it will cost for KTM, but if you go to professional garage, they will charge you a lot. So you can buy the springs and go to garage and give it to someone to change it, and it will be another probably 200-300 euros. Not that bad, but if you go to a professional garage to upgrade your suspension, then it will be thousands of euros. Thanks, Pavlen, that makes the decision between suspension or drone easier. No problem, glad to help. But with this weight, you definitely need to do something, otherwise if you plan some hard moments, some hard rides off-road and you have big bumps, you might destroy the cartridge of your forks. If you hit the bottom a few times, and you might destroy it. Another cheap solution will be to have a spacers on the top of your springs. They will work like a preload to press them a little bit, but as I said, you'll make them stiffer, but you're not going to make them work the way they should, and you will compromise your suspension travel. Okay, good. Any more questions? Oh, good. All right, my friend, then if you don't have any other questions, thank you very much for supporting my channel, and thank you very much for coming tonight. I'm sorry that we don't have many more people with more questions, but even the only warrior is still warrior, as they say. Next week, I still don't know the topic, but we're gonna have again a live stream, the same time, the same place, and see you there. Have a great week as well. Ciao, ciao.